Hey guys, welcome back. This is your friend Trickman01. Welcome to another episode of Kerbal Space Program. In this episode, the first thing we're going to do, I haven't quite planned out the whole episode yet, but I do want to start the first step of the Kerbonational Space Station. So that's what we have here. We just have this this little thing right here is going to be the first part of the Kerbonational Space Station. As you can see, it's got 4 docking ports on it, so it is very expandable. So yeah, basically that's what we're going to start with. So let's lift off in 3, 2, 1. That's just a flag. So we have the brothers Adtop and Aldkis over here. I'm assuming they're brothers. They have the letter theme going on. You know, a lot of siblings will, their names will start with the same first letter. Here's the moon over here. Hi moon. So yeah. And then my kind of goal with this, you can see this ship really doesn't have any rockets on it. It's a space station, but it does have RCS as well as a giant fuel tank here. And my kind of goal for that is that when ships are leaving Kerbin, they can stop and get fuel if they need it. And when they're coming back, they can put as much fuel as they can into that tank so that any ships that are leaving will be able to refuel as necessary. We can start our gravity turn now. That's enough of a gravity turn, guys. I'll be able to show you more about this once we get it into orbit around Kerbin. But I just wanted to get it into space for now. Speaking of which, today is April 23rd, which means this morning there was a spacewalk on the actual International Space Station. That's kind of where this idea came about from. It's pretty cool. Oop. With the stage. That's why we're not making any real progress. Hope we didn't lose too much fuel there. Excuse me. But yeah, there was a pretty cool spacewalk. It was fun to watch. I watched it live on through their live stream. I believe it was on Ustream that I watched it. And yeah. Spacewalks, pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool indeed. They were replacing the MDM module, which is basically, I had to look this up so don't feel bad. It's I forgot what it stands for, but it basically routes all the incoming and outgoing information. I believe it stands for, and I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, you know, it happens. But I believe it stands for multiplexer, demultiplexer. So it basically routes all of the information coming in and leaving the ISS to the proper channels, I guess would be a good way to put it, maybe. So they went bad with those. There was really no issues during the spacewalk. It went nice and quick. It was about an hour and a half, I think. And I apologize for the email noise. So yeah, it went about as well as probably could be hoped. The only real issue that happened, the astronauts was trying to slide one of the panels and it didn't want to move right away. He just used a little bit of elbow grease on it. It ended up moving and, you know, no harm done. So overall it went really well. I was pretty excited to see that. There were some pretty good camera shots. You could actually at some point see the SpaceX capsule docked to the ISS in the background. And I was like, hey, I just saw that launch a few days ago. So that was pretty interesting. And of course, these astronauts are taking selfies. We have astronauts in space taking selfies. I guess when you're in space, hovering miles above the planet, you are allowed to take a few selfies, especially if you put the planet in the background. Should probably be fast forwarding. But yeah, so that was pretty cool indeed. It was fun to watch them work in a zero-gravity environment. I didn't realize just how much they communicated with NASA during the EVA missions? What you call an EVA mission? EVA excursion at any rate. While they're on EVA, I was telling someone earlier, it reminds me, I don't know if anyone's ever seen The Beatles' Help, but there's a part where they're trying to basically blow up the Beatles, where the one guy says something like, Something along the lines of they're communicating with each other, and he's got the bomb and he's trying to plant it. And he says something like, "I'm moving my left foot, I move my right foot." And that's kind of what it reminded me of when they were doing the spacewalk and communicating with Houston. Which is probably very necessary in space, but I didn't realize quite the extent that they did that. Can't talk today, that they did that. So, yeah, that was pretty cool. At least when I'm recording it, it's April 23rd. It'll probably be the 26th when this goes up. 26th or the 25th. Let's see, Thursday. Or maybe even Monday afterwards. Let's try to get this up to right about there. Should be fine. 134, 137. That's about as close as we're going to get. Alright, so the other thing we need to do now is we're going to go ahead and save those guys. And we're going to say goodbye to them, hopefully forever. Shouldn't run into them again at any rate. Alright, so this is the Kerbonational Space Station. It does have some lights. We can light it up just a hair. Not as many as I thought. So okay, basically we got two capsules. Let's have a look from this angle. Left the emergency slide. In the bottom right cabinet. P.S. I ate all the snacks. So it looks like Bill or Bob Kerman ate all of our snacks. But yeah, I used this capsule here for a couple of reasons. First of all, let's turn, I suppose. Oh, look, snacks. Look at that picture, that's funny. Anyways, first of all, you can get a great view of things, which actually, hold on. Found our thumbnail for the episode. Whoops. And there we go. So, yeah, you can get a great view of things. And second of all, kind of reminds me of Star Wars, the way it's shaped. So I'm digging it. You can actually see down below. What does that say? Stop using bits of metal as fuses. You have spares. Fuse box. Okay. Makes more sense now when we put it that way. And we'll go back to this. So I believe that was, who was that? Whoa. Not what I wanted to do there, buddy. IVA. So that was the other guy. He's in the other capsule and it says all the same things. So that is that. We have, let's go ahead and extend our solar panels. We have 8 solar panels on this bad boy. 4 docking ports. Oh, goodness gracious. Huh. Well, I didn't think that one too far ahead, did I? I just realized if anything docks, these solar panels are going to be in the way. Oh well. You live, you learn, right? Battery pack is slowly recharging. Actually, it's recharging pretty quickly. Big fuel tank here. Like I said, what we're going to do with this is going to be here for any ships leaving Kerbin to refuel if necessary, and any ships returning to Kerbin can dump their fuel into here before they land. So that's what's going to be used for that. And I have a mobile processing lab. So when we bring a few samples back, we might test that out just to see what happens with it. So we'll have to move 2 Kerbal nuts into the mobile processing lab. And yeah, that's it for the Kerbonational Space Station. At least for now. Like I said, we're probably going to expand this into a much bigger thing over time. And then anything we dock, we'll just have to remember to put solar panels on it. Because we're going to end up either breaking these off or not being able to use them. It's also got a satellite dish. What space station would be complete without a satellite dish? So we're just going to have that open to make it look a little bit more. So this, like I said, is the beginning of the space station. I think I said that about 18 times, so you guys should get it by now. But it does also have some RCS, so we can maneuver things the way we need to. And we are controlling it from... I want to control it from here. I'm pretty sure it's going to flip around. Let's point this bad boy straight up. And I will, so Adtop and Aldkis will probably get replaced every so often. We'll send another ship up here. Those Kerbonautes will come in. The other Kerbonautes will leave. No, the other Kerbonautes will come in. These Kerbonautes will go home. And they'll basically take turns doing that. Give me just a second and I will be right back. Alright guys, and we are back. And I have decided to go ahead and leave the Solar Science out in space for a little while longer. He's on the other side of the galaxy, or the solar system, I do believe. Let's see, yeah, he's way over here. So we'll wait a few decades until he gets a little bit back closer to Kerbin. Probably 10 years or so, Kerbin time. He'll be fine, no big deal. He's got plenty of oxygen. So we'll wait until he gets a little bit closer to Kerbin to do that. And for now, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add on to the space station a little bit. So what I decided I needed is, you saw the solar panels were obstructed a little bit when we have things at dock. So I'm making this I'm going to use these radioscopic thingies to supply power to the space station. So I'm going to attach this to the space station. You can see I have a shielded docking port on the bottom. And then once I attach it to the space station, I'm going to crash this bit back in the Kerbin. So let's go ahead and launch without further ado. 3, 2, 1, blast off. Alright guys, so we are just a little bit closer to the Kerbonational Space Station. You can see it's right over there actually. Let's turn off RCS. Well, you can see the sun over there, but I don't know if you can see the letters. It says that we're 10.7 kilometers away. So we're going to go ahead and try to get closer to it. We're actually getting just a hair farther, but we should be starting to get closer now. Let's go to about, say 10 meters a second or so. Maybe a little bit faster than that. Maybe 20 or 30. Okay, maybe even a little bit faster than that. Alright, so we should be pretty much heading straight for the Kerbonational Space Station at this point. You can see our intersection is getting closer and closer over here. Oh, now it's starting to get farther away again. So let's go ahead and activate our next engine stage. And you can see what I've done here is, oh goodness, I have action groups, whoops, that's the wrong button, set to this button, which I believe is the top ones, and this button, which will activate the nuclear engine, so I can switch back and forth once we get a little bit closer. Not a big deal at all. Alright, so let's go ahead and try to cancel out. Well, no, we don't want to cancel out anything quite yet. Let's fast forward a little bit till we get closer. Ooh, there we go. And now we want to go ahead and try to line up our prograde with the towards target. So I think we do that by burning this way, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So as you can see, we're about to line up. Let's go down this way just a hair and yoink. Alright, that's perfect. That's a quick save. We're only 1.6 kilometers away at this point. So what I'll do now is I'll go ahead and open up this docking port. Oh, here we go. Alright, so we're getting kind of close now, so I'm going to go ahead and cancel out our velocity. At least as much as we can. right about there. Alright, so now we should be pretty much parked right around it. I'm still not very good at docking, guys. I got a little bit better with my last episode docking practice. So let's go ahead and move towards the target just a hair. Don't want to go too fast though. And the reason for that is, well, I basically don't want to smash into the thing. So we're going about 2 meters a second now, which is fine, and I'm trying to line up my my prograde with the target direction using RCS only. All right, let's turn off RCS and line ourselves up again. Then once we get really, really close, we're going to turn around and control from the docking port. All right, RCS, let's cut it back just a hair. Oops. Now we're moving at about 2 meters a second and 1 meter a second, which is probably fine-ish. All right, now let's go ahead and cancel out the rest of our momentum completely. Alright, so there we are. We're pretty much parked next to it now. Turn off RCS. And here we're going to do a couple things. First of all, we're going to go ahead and set... Well... Let's go to the other ship really quick. And let's see, where's my... There you go. Let's go ahead and turn this guy like this so we don't run into the satellite dish. And let's also go ahead and close these panels. And as well as these ones. And then we'll go back to the other ship. You can see Adtop and Aldkiss are very much waiting for this delivery. We'll set our Clampotron there as our target. Alright, so now let's go ahead and start with the docking ritual. And actually, I'm doing this backward. Let's control from here, and let's go ahead and turn off RCS and turn this bad boy around. Alright, so we also want to do something like this. Let's go ahead and try to use our translation controls. Still not the greatest at that. Dang it. There we go. Right, but it looks like we're coming in exactly where we need to. About a 1/10 of a meter, or I'm sorry, a 1/5 of a meter every second. We should be aiming for this Clampotron port. But it really doesn't look like we are, so let's go into chase mode. Okay, so we might actually be coming in exactly where we're supposed to, which would be new for me. Things aren't supposed to go according to plan. We might just be a bit oriented the wrong way. But I'll be okay with that if we are. And docking slowly but surely, and then when we dock, we ended up really not needing these engines. We're going to crash this main part back into Kerbin, and the Kerbonational Space Station will have an unlimited power supply at that point from these guys right here. So, or at least semi-unlimited. Okay, this is painfully slow. And we'll fast forward just a hair. Not too much where the Kraken gets us, but just a little bit. Just a little bit indeed. So let's slow down now. And point, let's do that. Turn off RCS again. And we should be coming in pretty much right on the dot. Man, guys, I am so good at this game. Yeah, whatever. Alright, so we are doing that now. And we should just have to maybe turn just a hair. Here it comes, here it comes. This magic moment. And turn off SAS. Come on. Come on. Maybe. No. No, don't. No. Why won't you dock? Come on. SAS is off. Turn on SAS maybe. Is there something obstructing? No. Alright, let's back off just a little bit. The magnetic forces won't let me. Alright, so it wants to mate. Aha, there we go. There we go indeed. So let's quick save at that point. That was something, guys. Now I'm hoping these brackets will break when I go ahead and decouple. They did. So now these guys got power, and we're gonna switch back over to this other ship, and we're gonna go ahead and RCS away. Let's control it from the proper side. RCS away. Alright, so we have added our first addition to the Kerbonational Space Station. Not bad considering we just put it in orbit. Alright, let's go ahead and park for a second. Not that it really matters. Alright, so we'll park that right there. Let's switch back over. Let's have AdTop take a look and make sure everything came out properly. Oh, don't go too far, AdTop. Oops. Goodness gracious. AdTop. You're making me nervous, buddy. Dang it. Come on. Alright, so AdTop seems happy with it. Goodness gracious. Let's actually turn him around. And everything look good, AdTop? Alright. Stay away from the solar panels before you break them. Let's go ahead and get you back in your capsule before you float away. And this. And we will grab it and board. Alright. Nice spacewalk, AdTop. Well done indeed. So now let's go ahead and land this guy. Orbit's fine. But we need to get him away from the ship, so let's go to chase camera mode. Chase. Interesting. Get him below this guy. That way we don't run into it. And we can turn off chase now. And let's go ahead and crash him into... Ooh, goodness. Oh, good. Into the planet. Because that's what we do with... This thing is just... Okay, yeah. Kerbonational Space Station is well behind us. Goodbye. And you have served us well. I forgot what I even called this ship. Doesn't really matter. Alright, so let's go ahead and watch the spectacular crash now. Let's make sure we're quick saved. That way if something like the Kraken just tears up our save file, we'll be able to recover it. So this ship has served us well indeed. Now we have unlimited power to the space station, and I'm wondering what I should add next. That docking went very, very well, much better than my first docking attempt, so we did learn a lot, but the only real hiccup was the very end there, where we were trying to it just wouldn't attach for whatever reason. It may have been the orientation, I'm not sure. So anyways, let's watch our faithful ship here as it crashes into the ocean, and the Kerbonational, or the Kerbal Space Center will recover the vessel and take its parts and use them towards further parts, I'm sure. Alright. And what happens if we abort? Alright, so let's go to the Space Center. Alright guys, so I do have some ideas for other projects, but I don't know how much time we've been in this episode, especially considering I recorded the second part 2 days after the first, so this will probably go up on Monday the 28th. And I will likely be fast asleep since I work overnight when that happens, but I want to thank everybody so much for watching, and I will see everybody in the next episode, I believe. If not, I'll be right back. But it's more than likely going to be the end of the episode. It might be kind of a short one, but we have some other projects we want to work on in the future as well, so I will see everybody there. Thank you so much for watching one more time. This is Trickman01. Have a great day. Bye-bye now.